Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Mark Cabu coming at you, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we're going to talk about mouth breathing. Really? Mouth breathing? Yeah. We're going to talk about breathing through your mouth predominantly and see what effects that has on the body. So, huge disclaimer. Mouth breathing is one of those things to be properly treated. You need to seek the correct medical advice. So these are the things like talking with your family doctor, talking with your dentist, having a good ENT on your team, someone that can look at these issues and make sure that you're getting the proper treatment. These are not naturopathic principles. These are real deal things that you might have to get some medical attention for. But I want to bring it to your attention because I think it's one of those crucial factors, as I see, that people can't get rest and restorative amounts of sleep. These things matter for people. When we mouth breathe, we learn how to mouth breathe based on different circumstances that happen in our life. One of the biggest circumstances, I think, is chronic stress. When you're chronically stressed, we tend to shut down this nose aspect and start mouth breathing and breathe really rapidly but very shallowly. So interesting, these aspects, as we learn these behaviors over time, they teach our body to go into this fight or flight response, this state of the body's constantly on high alert. And mouth breathing is one of those things I see very commonly in my practice. I see people constantly, when they're trying to talk, take deep, deep breaths, have to stop mid-sentence to get to the point where they're actually, getting a deep breath. And some people I see actually have to really get to these states of they have sleep apnea machines to even get to the point where they don't even realize they're waking up in the middle of the night having these what we call hypoxic type events or low oxygen type events. So let me run through some of the things that happen with mouth breathing for adults and then with kids. So with adults, I'm cheating. I have a page in front of me. With adults, we see with mouth breathing, we see bad breath, gum disease, dry mouth, brain fog, circles under the eyes, and sometimes hoarseness of your voice happens with mouth breathing at a common basis. With children, we see slower growth, imbalance of the teeth or imbalance in the jaw, very, very highly reactive tonsils and adenoids. We see dry, cracked bottom lip. I see that commonly with kids, and I really didn't understand why until I started reading about mouth breathing. And it makes sense when you think about it. Breathing in all the time through your mouth and breathing out, the lip definitely would get dry. Trouble concentrating at school, and sometimes we see trouble getting to a deep sleep state. So these kids wake up tired, or they're diagnosed with daydreaming because they're tired in the day. They're not getting rest and restorative amounts of sleep. So there's a ton of different causes of mouth breathing. I think, like I said, stress is a big one. But this is where your ENT and your doctors really come into play to make sure that you're not having crazy amounts of immune production based on your adenoids or your tonsils. I can't do anything to remove your tonsils. I'm sorry. I can work at the underlying causes to why they're there. So such as if you have environmental allergies or seasonal allergies or dust allergies or mold or something like that in your home that might cause that immune response. Yeah, I can help with that. We also look at things like deviated septums, so that happens commonly as well. I can't do anything about that, but your ENTs can. Nasal polyps. I'll tell you a trick about nasal polyps. Most nasal polyps have Staphylococcus bacteria inside the nose when that occurs. So staph is one of those bacterial infections I see commonly when the nasal compartment is sampled to see staph there in about 90% of cases of polyps. So keep that in mind because there's a great nasal rinse with a probiotic that I do that very well may help you with your polyp aspect. But again, you might need surgery to get those bad boys removed. The shape of your nose and the jaw. And this comes back to when you were feeding, when you were a baby. Interesting, when you breastfeed, you have to use your nose to breathe as you're sucking on, mom's nipple. So interesting, it teaches you how to actually get to those deeper restored amounts of breath. However, I know so many of us at that point where, mom had issues breastfeeding, the baby wouldn't latch, blah, blah, blah. We could talk all day about the reasons why people don't breastfeed. I don't knock anybody for not breastfeeding. I give everybody a super high five if they are breastfeeding. I know for me, I would have failed a long time ago. So all of you that are out there that have given it a try and had success or failure, I applaud you. Thank you very much for doing what you could have done. That's as simple as it is. And we learn that these kids sucking on their thumbs. I know as a parent, it's something that you have to talk about. Do you give your kid a numbie or a soother or whatever the case may be? And most dental professionals will tell you not to do that because it changes the jawline, it changes how the teeth go, because it changes when it's pushing up on the top of the or the mouth there, it actually changes the shape of the face to get a little bit more narrow, a little bit grows narrower, not wider. So interesting, we're kind of seeing these societies of narrowing facial structures, narrowing airways, which lead to mouth breathing. So it's interesting. So very interesting facts there about mouth breathing. I'm going to do another video right now about nasal breathing, about breathing through the nose and the benefits of that, to see if we can kind of come up with a plan of action here to learn the difference between, you know, mouth breathing and nasal breathing, and some strategies you can employ to help fix that for yourself. So I'll talk to you in a few minutes.